and it's reeked of mold, and it wasn't being kept up with, and it was dead. Walking into a dead home is a nightmare, and I had many nightmares about it. But all my stuff was still there. It was entombed. Pictures, kids' stuff, books, furniture. All that stuff sat there like it was frozen in time. And I had to do something about it. I had to. So, and I couldn't do it on my own. So that team, the team that just pulled off the show on Friday night and the show on Saturday night and the 2 shows the weekend prior, they all came down in a caravan of cars one November day 2 years ago. And they came into that house and they assisted me. When I think about it now, and when I was thinking about it then, I'm like, what is my problem? Pull it together. Get your shit out of here and leave. What the hell's wrong with me? But now looking back on it, I think, I was in mourning. I was in, a state of disbelief, a state of, I was a ghost. Drifting in and out of 2 worlds. The new world without him in a new place, and the old world with him in the old place. And I could have stayed in that state for much longer. And so there it was, just, living, not really living, actually. And they all saw it. And so that caravan of cars came flying into my driveway one day, and they came in and said, we're doing this now. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you don't want. We're loading it into the cars. We did. We loaded up stuff. My office mate went through the children's books with me. You want to keep this? Yes. Ditch this? Yeah. And it was just that act of kindness, of helping me just sift through books, that got me finally out of there. I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't do it. I'm going through kids' clothing that was left behind in the closets, and boxes of drawings and school work and class pictures, and I just couldn't be in that house and doing it by myself. And so they helped me get what I needed out, drove it over to my new place, unloaded it, and then they left. Those people, I can never thank them enough, nor have I found the words to do so, because I'm not sure that I've processed it yet. One thing about telling a story that you haven't processed is it's sort of deadpan, and I hear it in my voice that it's sort of deadpan, and part of that is because I'm not alone in the house right now, and it's hard to record when there's people around. And the other part is there's a lot of stuff that had happened in that time and in those years that was just too difficult to process. And so it's those things, the house is gone. The tomb with the material objects is gone. And I left everything there that I really didn't need. I don't have much to my name. A true minimalist, because I chose to leave it all and to let all of that stuff just be buried. And so there's a lot of emotional stuff that's also been buried and hasn't been excavated or looked at. And, someday I'm going to do that. And it's through this podcast that I do. And it's through these moments of reflection when I look at my life in contrast, or the dichotomy, of me standing on stage in front of 1,000 people, me sitting next to Ricky Skaggs, and being complimented on how wonderful I am on stage and how connected people feel to me. To getting the call from Natalie, MacMaster, who's depending on me. In contrast to the dead life that I was living. A life where I was told I was nothing, and that my personality was not an asset. It was actually the destruction of the family. And I never thought that my personality, my ability to connect with everyone, my ability to see the humanity in all people, I believe that was wrong. I was told that I preferred to be with other people than my own family, and that I was evil. And it took me years to figure out that the person telling me that was the one who was actually wrong. And so now today, when I can get up on stage in front of that many people, and 4 or 3 of the most important people in my life can sit and watch what I do and see how it's actually a good thing. I'm talking about my kids. They were there. They got to see, and they've seen me do shows before, but nothing like this, where they sat in the audience. And Ricky brought up my name during the show and told the audience about a conversation that he and I were having. And the kids got to hear that. And it's really important to me that they hear that, because they've been told, in not many words, but just actions, that I am a failure. And I'm totally serious about that. They, former partner and family, they think that I'm a failure, and every day I prove them wrong. And it's been quite a ride. It is quite a ride, coming out from underneath the weight of somebody else's judgments and rediscovering that you have value, and questioning it every day, because you've been so brainwashed to think that you're always in the wrong. It's unbelievable. And so I wanted to thank, and I wanted to keep these podcasts short, but this one was hard to keep short. The person you see today and that you're hearing from now, this personality has always been inside of me. And I see it in my youngest. It's innate. But it went away for a long time. Got chased away. And I packed it away in order to make other people happy. But the person you see today, and the person who gets to go up on stage, is not only is it something that comes from me internally, that's me 100%, but it's also the people who have rallied around me, and the people I've chosen to put in my corner It's those people who have helped me crawl out of the tomb and back into the light. So this podcast is dedicated to them. That's it. Thank you so much for listening and supporting this project. And if you're listening to this and I'm dead, please, please make my life into a beautiful movie. I'd totally dig that.